What's up guys, welcome to another photo review Wednesday. This is number 20. I've made 20 photo reviews and because of that today I'm going to take 20 photos, actually 25, but some are very similar. And because I'm getting so many more photos backed up, I'm going to ask you to only send one or two anymore, and I'm not going to review them because there's a lot of people waiting. And pretty soon I'll be offering private reviews where I can talk to you one-on-one and go maybe an hour conversation or something and analyze your photography goals and where you are and maybe what to do and what not. So again, I'll be announcing that as soon as possible once I get everything set up, but just bear with me. For now, let's keep doing these photo reviews, which I'll continue to do until I get through all the photos. Let's get through these photos. Here's the first one. It looks like it was a photo of a bee on a flower. When you zoom in, it looks great, but from a distance, it's very hard to see the subject. It's very good. Technically, it's a good photo. For stock, I'm not so sure because it is too far away. You want that emphasis more on the bee. There's two bees there, but they kind of get lost in the photo here. ISO 100, 125th, very good camera settings, but you need to get closer. Something even like that where you can see the bees, you can see the tree, something like that, the bee in the background, the other bee here in the front, there's a line of the three. That would be much better for stock, but because it's a smaller file, how big is it? 4:3, that's barely that's like 12 megapixels. If you were to crop it this much, I don't think it will get accepted. You're doing good. Just try to focus or get closer. And I know this is tough, especially with live bees like this. It's very tough to get a good clear shot, which you did. I would try uploading it anyway. Composition is right in the middle. For stock, try to put it more like on a third. The lines, the leading lines with the three bees, that would help you a little bit more. I mean, overall with the photo, I'd say 3 out of 3. A little bit of contrast would make it pop a little bit more and bring more of those shadows that I think you recovered. And then that will give you a little bit more pop in the photo. So 3 out of 3 is not bad. Let's go on to the next image. Okay, here's the next photo. It looks like entrance to a cave. This is more like a snapshot, to be honest, because the person is walking blurred. I mean, you see he's out of focus. The other person's feet is over here. The flags on the top are the one flag is cropped. It's more like a snapshot, and this is not going to make it for stock. And if it does, I don't think it's going to sell because it wasn't set up. You could wait for the person to be full going through the gate, maybe just a different concept, and not just let's just take a picture and see what happens. So this one I'm gonna say 1 out of 5 stars total. It's a little blown out. It could use a little bit more lighting. As far as camera settings, ISO 400, I mean, it's fine. ISO 400 is a little high, but with good light, that's not a big deal. And it just doesn't have a reason to be a stock photo. The composition is not that great. You can see there's the big tree in the background. When you're trying to sell photos for stock, take your time, compose the image. It has to be a good photo, so take your time and compose it. Look for good angles, avoid distracting elements like that tree in the back of the sign. Move to the other side where you can get clear sky and you can read the sign clearly, and not just someone's leg or someone walking through the photo, because that's just not gonna cut it. Next photo. Now we have this little kid. See, this is more what I'm talking about. Little kid feeding the chickens, dipping in the thing or the grain of the corn feed here to feed the chickens. That's a good image. If you could get the face of the kid, that would be way better. You're still gonna need a model release, but if you could get the front, the face interacting across, shooting across the chickens, I think that would be a much better photo. I guarantee the kid's got a smile, is gonna be happy. That would be a much more sellable photo, but this is good. This is a very good photo. ISO 320, 6/40th of a second. I know things are moving, you're moving. Even at 320, ISO 160 I think would be enough, or ISO 250 would be enough. But it looks good. This one I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. If you got the face of the child, I would say 5 out of 5. Great job with this one. Composition's good, edit's good. It looks pretty good, good concept. Just try to get that interaction with the face and the smile and everything. For the next photo, we got, this is an editorial travel. Things like these sell. I saw a lot of photos like this from all over everywhere I go. Try to get people doing people things. The only thing I don't like here is the pole in the back. It's a little distracting. Again, it has that feeling to be like a snapshot and not so much an image that you took your time to get right. Move a little bit, try to eliminate the pole, frame the person with the palm tree. Use what you have in your environment to make a better photo, and not just click whenever you see something fun. I mean, I'm sure it will be fine. Try to upload it and see if it sells. Just if you really want to sell and make some money with stock, you have to take your time and compose to get better and better at photos. So this one, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Next, we have this keyboard with just the word enter, or not even a word, the key enter. This is more of an artistic photo. For stock, I don't think it's gonna do much. Number one, the enter is all the way over there and the lines are leading away instead of into the photo. If the enter was over here on the right side of the image, I think it would be much better, because now that's where your eye is going to. That's where your if I flip it, see if that looks a little bit better. But in this case, I'm gonna say 1 out of 5. It's a good shot. ISO 500. I see a little bit of noise, but that's not terrible. You'd be able to recover some of that in Lightroom at 1/60th of a second. I'm sure you were hand holding, but based on the composition, I don't think this is going to get accepted for stock. And there's a lot of images like this. A concept, a finger pushing the enter. The composition does need to be completely reversed because that's leading away. You want things leading into the photo. The lines coming in, not going away. 2 out of 5 or 1 out of 5. That's 2 out of 5 because you kind of got the idea, but it's reversed. In camera settings, a little bit 3 out of 5 in camera settings. It could be improved with the tripod, but you're doing good. Let's go on to the next photo. All right, now we got some ducks or geese or whatever these birds are on a blue lake. It looks fine, but it doesn't have much commercial value. I have sold things like this, but they don't sell over and over again. So this one total, I'm gonna say 2 out of 5. You need to engage more with the birds. A kid throwing bread or something, or a person, and a guy sitting on a bench throwing bread. That makes more of a stock photo than just I mean, this is fine. Don't get me wrong, it's a good picture. It is not focused though. I think it's a very small photo. Yeah, this doesn't have the requirements for stock. It's a very small photo, 1/16 by 10. It's a HD photo, 1/800. Good camera settings, but it is too small. If they were sharp, there's a chance you might sell it, but it's not one of those bestseller images. You need a concept. You need someone interacting with the wildlife here. Next. All right, I remember this. Here's a few pictures of the same model. I'm gonna show them here side by side. Her husband is a photographer. He took all the shots and sent them all for review. This looks great. Good lighting, good setup, great place. He said they live in a boring area, but this looks pretty good. The one thing I think you need a little bit of help with is posing. Posing is one of the toughest things to do as a photographer, as a person, as a model. This one is better, but you can see how the background's blown out. This one's fine, but there's, I don't know, the hand on the hair, just not doing it in this setting, because for stock photos, you're walking around. It'd be much better stock photo if she's walking with shopping bags. Hands down, that would be a way better photo than playing with your hair. You go out of town, you're walking with a shopping bag, maybe a Starbucks coffee. That would be a much more sellable stock photo, because there's a lot of photos with models, and when you got somebody modeling, chances are you have clothes or you have makeup or something that's going to be specific to the company selling the photo. This one's better. She's got the boots, she's dressed like in the farm. This one looks a little bit better. This other one that was down here, something was off with me, and I didn't realize. I emailed the photographer back and forth. It's a 70-200, but you can see the tractor in the background looks small. When you shoot something at 200 millimeters, the background looks bigger. So he then told me this was AI. This was added with AI after the fact, which is, I knew there was something wrong here, but anyway, nice try. But like I said, look for real life situations, real life scenarios. If she had a pitchfork and she was doing hay, that would be a much more sellable photo, because it's real life things happening. You handle the camera great focus, great camera settings. All of them are good, but just the sellability is what's slow. So on all of these photos, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Good camera settings, good edits, good everything, just need more sellability. Let's move on to the next round. All right, the next photo, here's a butterfly on somebody's hand. This is from a Samsung, a cell phone, ISO 50th of a second, so it's pretty good, but you can see that the focus is on the wing and not on the body of the butterfly. That's not gonna do that great. And for stock, remember, I know you're doing your own photo. You're holding the butterfly, taking the photo. If you could flip it somehow so it looks natural, like you're looking at somebody else, it would be a much more better photo because you're engaging with the butterfly. The focus here is off. The body is not in focus. That's not gonna be a stock photo. Total, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. You got a good clear focus here in the wings, but you missed the focus. I don't know if you can adjust that on your cell phone or not. That's tough. You don't have focusing points, I don't think. I don't have a Samsung, so I don't know. But focusing on the front of the butterfly will be a much more sellable and better image. Next, I think there's another butterfly here. All right, see, this is a little better. It focused on almost on the eye. That's a lot better. But you can see how cell phones add this texture. They add this, what do you call it? It just looks very sharp. They add sharpness to them. Good settings for a cell phone, but you can see all that sharpness. It might get rejected for quality issues, and that's because it just looks over sharpened. Maybe take it in Lightroom and try to remove some of that. But overall, it's fine. Good composition, good butterfly. Everything is, on a third, which that's good. This one, I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. Good job with this one. Let's move on to the next photo. Now, let's go back to this one. If you know the technical name of the butterfly, what type it is, what names it has, include those in the keywords, and that's gonna help you sell it. Next we have, I'm assuming it's cookie dough. It doesn't have any information. It's from a Rebel T6, ISO 230th of a second. The focus is right here in the center. That's where the eye goes. So the composition, I would have done it a little bit differently so that your focus here in the bottom, your focus points on the bottom leading in, instead of having blurry, focus blurry, because that's almost too far out. It's dough or pizza dough or bread dough or something. It looks fine. I would try to upload it anyway. Lighting is a little difficult. I see that it wasn't the best lighting setup because the background's a little blown out. Overall for this photo, because it's not telling the complete story and it's kind of hard to tell a story with one image, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Food tends to sell. This is food preparation. That's gonna do fine. As far as this photo selling or getting accepted, I really don't see that, just because it doesn't have a clear concept. The flower in the back is cut off. There's nobody interacting with it. It looks fine, but it needs a little bit more, and I think that would be getting closer to the dough, focusing in the right spot, like focusing on the left hand side on on a bigger bun thingy, on a bigger dough ball, and then leading away. Maybe somebody hands on, that would be a little bit better. But it's fine. 3 out of 5. You might have a chance of selling it, and I don't see why it wouldn't get accepted. It's got all the requirements. Good focus. It's just the composition's lacking and the storytelling's lacking a little bit. Next. All right, so here's the next photo. You can see how this one's a little bit bright. There's a lot of glare from the sky and then the reflection on the lake. ISO 200 1/15. This is one of those cases where a double exposure, like when you do, or HDR, would really help get the detail on the rock, and then also in the sky. You can see that that's blown out. The leaves here just don't have a lot of detail because it's too bright. A circular polarizer would remove the glare from the water, making it a much better image and much more sellable photo. Technically, it's okay, just that the camera didn't have that dynamic range to recover the sky, and that's a tough situation because the shadows are very dark, the sky is extremely bright. So multiple exposures would help. And then the other thing is, look at the line here from the fence. You're cutting the house, like literally right where the house is. Lift the camera a little bit higher, look down. So now you're gonna separate the water and the fence, or get closer to the fence and shoot through the fence. I think that would look good. Frame it through the fence. Overall, I'm gonna say 2 out of 5. The tree just looks like it was if it was framed maybe like that, with, you know, cutting out the sky in the back, moving away so this big rock is not so much in the middle like a leading line. It's a bench, but it's kind of like in the way. Using it in an angle, I think would have been a better line. So I don't know, the exposure, the camera settings, the composition, and the edit, I think, are three things it's missing here. So I'm gonna say 2 out of 5. Next. All right, now we have someone with their dog. Look at the fluffy thing. Wow, that thing is big and fluffy. That's awesome. This is a great photo, great picture for stock. Pets on a bed, indoors, happy, smiling, interaction. This has everything you need. ISO 800. Let's look for noise. It looks like it was recovered here. Usually you'll see it in the autofocus areas. This looks great. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 total. And the only reason is because I don't like the ISO that high, but I don't see that I don't think that would be a problem. Canon 6D, that should handle it. It looks like a really, really good photo. Great job in this one. Awesome. That interaction with the animals, that's really that has sellability. Next. Okay, now we have this beautiful sunset out in somewhere. What is that? I don't know what kind of plants those are. I'm not a very big plant person. But the sunset looks good, the plants, the view, that it looks beautiful. As far as camera settings, what do we have? ISO 200, 180 at f11, great settings on that camera. I think this will do fine. Sunsets don't sell that much for stock photography. I don't sell that many and I have hundreds of them. It's a good photo for stock. It's missing a concept. Maybe if I knew what those plants were, it would be a little bit better. It doesn't say here anywhere. But it's good. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. There's a chance you might sell it. If there was people working the field, if there were people checking the plants, that would be another level. Don't forget to put what kind of plants those are in the description and the keywords, because that will help you sell the photo quite a bit. Next photo, we got a taxi going on the road. This has a great composition. That looks really good. Camera settings, it's a Canon 80D f8. Good camera settings, that's spot on. There's a little bit of movement, but that's expected. It has to be an editorial photo because of the taxi and the road, and well, I guess because of the taxi and the sign that says 24 hours something. But it's a great photo. I think that would be fine for stock. Sellability might be a little bit low, but I'm gonna give this photo a 3 out of 5. It looks good. I like it. Next. All right, now we have these buildings. That's better. See, there's a sunset where you're not looking at the sun is setting on the buildings, and that looks really, really good. I like that. I don't know where that is, but it looks awesome. Camera settings are great. Canon 80D, ISO 100, 6.3, 160th. You got the water, the choppy waters, you got people. That's a good travel editorial photo. So good job on this one. 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5 because it just has a good feel, good color, good edit, and being that there's just a big city in the background. These are things that don't sell a lot. The sellability might be a little bit low, but the photo itself is a very good photo. Next. Okay, so this is some kind of building, the sun's setting. Again, there's really not much happening. This one's a little bit less. I'm gonna give this one a 2 out of 5. You frame the sun, you frame everything, but for stock, it just doesn't have, it's just a picture of a sun setting. That it's not a very good stock photo because of that. It looks more like a snapshot. The buildings, the frame, it doesn't tell me where it's at. It doesn't give me really much to go for as far as an image. Remember, for stock, you're trying to sell something. You're trying to sell a concept, a place, an idea, and this is just an orange ball going behind the mountain with the buildings in the front. It looks good, it's a good photo, but for stock is not, in my opinion, and in my experience, it's not gonna do that great. 2 out of 5, good camera settings, good everything, just not a very good stock photo. As far as the picture itself, it's fine. It just, I don't know, it looks more like a snapshot, to be honest. You did frame it, you took the time to find it, but it just doesn't have that wow factor kind of there, if you get me. The next photo, here we got, there's a person, winter, it looks like a little bit of grain and it missed the focus. You want the eye that's closest to the camera to be in focus. I don't have any info on this one. Unknown camera, unknown lens. It looks cold, it looks good. That's, you know, when it's cold and dreary, you want photos like this. The orange pops, The only thing here would be the focus, and it looks a little bit grainy, but I think that's just for the email compression because it looks like a small file. Overall, if it was sharp, I'd say this would be a great stock photo, but because it missed focus, I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5. It looks good. Keep trying. Photos like this, I think with the dreary trees, the weather, things like this would sell. They just need to be in sharper focus. Next. All right, now this person sent me a lot, so I'm just gonna show you here. There's a good concept with the smiley face. I think that would be a very good stock photo, ISO 103. This is from a cell phone, a Realme. You can see how it's over pixelated and that's from the phone adding that texture. Same thing with this one. You can see it here. I don't think any of these are gonna get accepted for stock because of the added texture on the phone. You can see here, I think you've sent me a lot of photos, so this is probably one of the last ones I'm gonna review because I have a lot. But you can see the texture and all of your photos are good, but you have the same problem, and that's your phone. The phone is not helping you. It's actually hurting your photos. See that? Whenever you can upgrade, there's not much. You got good photos, good concepts, good ideas with the colors, with the textures, with the positioning, with the everything. It's just that the quality of your images is not high enough to be a sellable stock photo. And I think we're doing a record here. This is the last image, a train going really fast. You can see the steam, it looks good. ISO 100, 200th of a second at 5.6. That's a great travel photo. That's a good climate change and all the other stuff. The photo looks awesome. I'm gonna give it a, wow, that looks recovered back there, and a little bit of noise, which I don't understand. But overall, I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. The lighting is perfect. The concept, the travel, the line coming through, that looks like a really good and a really fun photo to make. Good job on this one. 4 out of 5. The edit, I mean, it's tough with the steam, with the smoke, because that's gonna be blown out. The light hitting it, it looks good though. You got good texture. Great edit. I'm just worried, a little bit worried about the noise here in the background. You can see the houses and that. And then this one's here too. They have a lot of noise. So I got a feeling the image is going to get rejected because of technical issues. Because when you really zoom in and pixel peep, you can see all the colors and things that shouldn't be there, which is weird for an ISO 100. Unless it's a composite, which I guess it could be. I don't know. But anyway, it looks there's a little bit of movement on the train. You can see it's not tack sharp. Great photo. I just don't know that it's gonna get accepted for stock. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 just because the image is awesome. It's a great capture. The settings might be a little off because of the movement and the blur, but it's still a fantastic capture, and I will definitely upload it for stock. You got a really good image here. Now, I think, let me do a quick check here. I think that was it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make more and more videos and try to keep up, but I have a very long list of things I wanna make, and I'm not forgetting about these. I'm gonna try to do at least 1, maybe 2 a month if I can, so that I can keep up with all the images. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope this video was helpful. Until next time, bye.